Hey y'all, Ramdino and Coda here, coming at you from North Carolina, where unfortunately the temperatures have gotten back up again and it doesn't feel like fall so much longer as it has been, but it's such a nice day that Coda and I figured we would go for a walk in the woods instead of sitting still. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you my update as Coda and I are taking a walk. You ready to go, boy? Ready to go? All right, let's go. If this is your first time on the channel, this channel is about building the hiker community and particularly supporting the 2019 Appalachian Trail through hikers on their quest to Katahdin if they're going no-bow, or on their quest to Springer if they're going so-bow, or flip-flopping, or anywhere in between. So we want to build their support around them and help y'all go and cheer them on. And the best way that you can do that is subscribe to this channel. Go down there and hit that subscribe button, hit that yellow bell so you'll get our weekly update notices. And then go to my Facebook page at Ramdino Roaming the Trails, and there you'll find a link to all the social media accounts of everybody that we're tracking. If you're a through hiker, and particularly so-bow, as most of the no-bows are closing up the end of their hike, but if you're a flip-flopper or so-bow, or even a no-bow, if you want us to catch you with your last couple weeks out, then go there and make sure that we've got your correct social media links, and or that we have you at all. We want to include everybody that we possibly can and support everybody that we possibly can. So do that, and then once you do that, you can go to their channel, the individual channels, and you can support them all the way the best way you know how, and that is by going and commenting them and keeping them spurred up and jacked up all the way to Katahdin, or all the way to Springer, or anywhere in between, whatever their final destination is. So let's go ahead and get on with the updates of the folks that we have out there that we are currently tracking. So far we're looking at over 500 folks who have summited. Of course we're not tracking all those, but we are well over 500. We're right around over 510 as a matter of fact of people that we are tracking and have summited Katahdin that are no-bow. And so some of those folks are, we've had a Detour from the Radiant Joy channel. She has summited. Underdog and Magic Mike, they have summited, and they were numbers 488, 489, and 490. Nav and Era, they've summited, and they were number 492. Rocket, also known as Julie Sheehan, she was corresponding for the track, and she has summited. And then we've had also on August 23rd, we had Tribute, Kingpin, Dynamite, Honeybee, and Snacks have summited. The Wonder Woman have summited, and they were number 508, 509, and 510. And we've had Burner, who has summited. And Burner was number 485. So if we missed your summit, we apologize for that. We've had a lot more folks out there, and if you want to be included in the update, please let me know, and we'll get you on the next update coming up this week, along with your summit number, if you include that for us. We expect to see a lot more folks summiting over the next couple weeks, and as we've said before, usually the second week in September is getting close to where most folks have summited. Katahdin, Baxter State Park says that it's a good idea that if for you to plan your summit, your hike, to where you summit before October 15th, because they could possibly close the park then, maybe even sooner, if the weather, depending on what the weather is, but they usually try to keep it open at least through October 15th. So Katahdin, being in Baxter State Park, is just a little different animal there, and they are very in tune with the ecosystem, and they want to make sure that the ecosystem there does not get damaged one iota, and so they are liable to close it sooner rather than later. So make sure you're getting up there in time to summit. We'd hate for you to walk all the way from Georgia and not get there and the park be closed. Weather report coming up. Little information on the Hurricane Dorian. Dorian has reached a Cat 5 status, and she, a couple hours ago, she was at 180 miles an hour, and now she is at, just a few hours later, is at 185 miles an hour now. She was at 180, now she's 185. So she hadn't made landfall, and looking at the spaghetti plots, it doesn't look like she's going to hit Florida like they thought that she was going to begin with. Possibly she's going to turn east, and head on up the coast and maybe not even make landfall, or at least the eye won't make landfall, but the eye wall could very well make landfall. And of course the feeder bands that come out from underneath it, so are out to the side. So she's still going to impact the coast with high waves and everything. Just don't know exactly where, but hopefully it's not going to be as bad as what they thought it was going to be, because just one side of her is going to impact. And looking at spaghetti plots, it doesn't look like she's going to have much of an impact on the trail, if any. And it looks like she's going to blow on out to the east before she gets up to New England states, and is not going to come around anywhere around the trail up there around Maine, New Hampshire. So that's good news for the hikers out there on the trail. Folks hadn't summited yet, and Sobos, and that shouldn't be a problem, although you might get some residual stuff from her. Rutland, Vermont, you're going to have highs in the 60s to the mid 70s during the day, with low nighttime temperatures around the high 50s till Tuesday, and then the mid 40s. You're going to have thunderstorms on Wednesday. It's going to be a little muggy till Thursday, so your humidity is going to drop after that. But until then, it is going to be kind of muggy. Gorham, New Hampshire, your daytime temperatures are going to be in the mid 60s to the low 70s, with the nighttime temperatures in the 50s till Tuesdays, and then it's going to be 40s for the rest of the week at night. So you're going to have rain on Monday and Wednesday. And then up in Rutland, Vermont, I forgot to mention that you're probably going to have a little bit of rain toward the middle of the week as well. Monson, Maine, your daytime temps are going to be in the high 60s with the nights in the low 50s to the 40s, and you're going to have rain on Monday and Wednesday, and possibly Saturday. Now, with those temperatures, you need to keep in mind that for every 1,000 foot of elevation gain that you have, you're going to be losing approximately 3.3 degrees Fahrenheit temperature drop. So that means if you are at 3,000 feet higher than these towns that I've mentioned, because that's where the temperatures are in the towns, they're not at elevation. So you're at 3,000 feet above those towns, you're going to be right at 10 degrees cooler. So that's getting down into the freezing temps. We've already had folks that have come out there and said that they have experienced frost in the morning. And frost in the morning means it got down to freezing temperatures, which means your water filtration system, particularly if you're using a Sawyer squeeze, which most of you are, those may be frozen, and then they're no good to you because they will not effectively filter the water anymore. Plus, it's just getting downright cold. So one of the things you can do if you have not gotten your winter gear back yet, or you don't have a insulated pad, one of the things I found that I had a cheaper pad that I got, and it was not insulated because I wasn't planning on getting in temperatures that were, really down in the 20s or even in the mid 30s. Wasn't planning on getting below freezing, but a couple of times I did when I got at altitude. And I had taken some Reflectix. So Reflectix is insulating material. It looks like kind of like tinfoil or Mylar, if you know what that is. That's on the back of bubble wrap. You can get that at Home Depot or Lowe's. That makes a great insulating. You put that under your pad, that reflects back your body heat. It's a little expensive. Really something you could do that also would do the same thing probably, and that is get you one of those Mylar emergency blankets that you see that you can pick up at really about anywhere. I know Walmart has them, and you probably sometimes get them at a gas station somewhere. But get one of those Mylar blankets and put on your pad. That's essentially what insulated pads have in them that you buy already, and that's why they make such a noise whenever you roll over in them, because that Mylar is real scrunchy and crinkly, and that's what's doing it inside there. So you'll be doing the same thing if you put it up underneath the pad. Try to secure it. If you're a quilter, then you'll have quilt straps that keep that on the pad, and you can just wrap those, put the pad on top of that and wrap the quilt straps around that and take care of that. So that's just a little tip there that I figured out last time. When I was rolling around, and I do roll at night, when I rolled around, I could tell the difference when that Reflectix was not directly up underneath me. So that's a tip. Use it or lose it, as some folks say. Hiker bubble. Where is the hiker bubble? Well, the hiker bubble is crossed over into Maine now from New Hampshire, and so most folks that are in that Maine bubble there that haven't summited are coming into Monson, or they are somewhere in the 100-mile wilderness. So that's where the hiker bubble is right now as far as Nobos. Updates we have of folks on the trail that are still out there. Runa is in New Hampshire, and she'll soon be coming into Whites. Hawk, of course, he is on his yo-yo, and he is Sobo right now, and he is coming into Rangeley, Maine today. Matter of fact, he should already have had lunch by the time you see this in Rangeley, Maine. Lollipop, they are in the 100-mile wilderness, and they are doing some trail magic in the 100-mile wilderness, and then they are going to, probably after that, they're going to flip on up to Baxter State Park, go ahead and summit, and then come back and do the 100-mile wilderness in earnest hiking, and then he'll have to flip down to, I believe it was maybe Virginia or Maryland that they skipped in order to flip on up. So they'll be flipping back down there to do that. He's been having some trouble with his feet lately, as a lot of people do, and so he's trying to work out a path that's going to help him finish his through hike, both of them, and but also spare his feet. So good luck to that Pop. Anchor is around Shaw's Hiker Hostel in Maine. He's been doing a little bit of slack packing through the 100-mile wilderness there with help from Shaw's, and he's kind of gotten caught in the Shaw vortex, as a lot of folks do. And but he is enjoying it and making some contacts, and thinking that he's going to be back next year to kind of work in the area and do some trail work in the area. So so good luck with that. And we look forward, Anchor, to you go ahead and finishing your hike this year, though. X, she is somewhere around Franconia Ridge today, and she's hiking with a great group of folks, Rocket and Rooster, that she's hooked up with, and they are in the Whites right now in the thick of it and having a blast with all the rocks and all the terrain features that they have there in the Whites. Minnesota hikers, they are up and over Mount Washington, where the wind speeds they said hit 60 miles an hour, and the wind chill was somewhere in the mid-20s. So that's pretty cold, particularly this time of year. Champ, he's reached his flip-flop point there at the Connecticut border. He's flipped on up to Millinocket, and then he'll be summiting Katahdin, and he'll flip back down and catch those portions of the trail that he missed during his flip. Trigger is north of Gorham, New Hampshire. Chuck Norris is past the White River at mile 1740, and he says it is definitely getting chilly at night, but he does recommend that folks jump off the bridge there that crosses over the White River. He says that's very exhilarating, and he enjoyed doing that. And he also has got a few other recommendations for people to stay up at Summit Mount. He said he saw some really good sunrises, sunsets up there, and he also recommended, if you have not made it yet and you're coming through Dartmouth, to stop there at the Student Commons and see if they will buzz you in. Apparently there is some type of agreement they have where they will feed hikers for free at the Student Commons. He got that, and he said it was great food. So if you know anything about that, I don't know a thing in the world about that, but if you know something about them feeding folks there at Dartmouth College, then leave a comment in the comment section down below so other folks can take advantage of that. Amy and John, they are almost done with the Whites, and they plan to summit on September 11th. And Sheriff and Candy Mama, also known as the Dower Duo, they should be summiting today. As a matter of fact, they may have already summited by the time you see this. So congratulations to all those folks out there that have summited. If I missed your summit, that was unintentional, and we want to include everybody that we possibly can. So let me know about that. Send that to me along with your picture and your summit registration number. We'd like to have that so that we can keep track of how many folks have summited. So send that to me over there. Just send it to me in an IM message at Ramdino Roam the Trails, and send me a message there. Couple points of note. Started looking at it. One of the subscribers indicated that over 220 people summited in 18 days. So at that rate, that's about 18 a day, and we hadn't even got into the really busy couple weeks where everybody's going to be up there. So that's going to be interesting to see how many folks over the next 2 weeks actually summit. And then if you have not got to Baxter yet and you hadn't got yourself squared away on the procedures there, the ATC Conservancy site has some directions there on what you're going to encounter, how you're going to go about getting your registration number, where you're going to stay. And then there's also a even better WordPress page that I will leave called baxterinfo.wordpress.com, and I will leave that in the description section, a link to that, and I'll also try to link it at the end of this video, and that way you can go and check that out and see if there's some information there that you need or you hadn't got. Bear reports remain pretty much the same. We've got all the Smokies, in the Smokies we've got warnings in all of the shelters there. Cosby Knob shelter remains closed. We've got warnings in the Vermont shelters. We've got warnings in the shelters in Grayson Highlands and Mount Rogers. And we've also got a new warning that doesn't appear anywhere other than Munn the Trail Angel. And we've mentioned Munn several times, that he's been doing a lot of trail angel work up there for y'all, and he gave me one at Delaware Water Gap. Apparently there's a bear that's been causing a lot of problems up there, that he's not, he's not, bears will bluff charge. Well, he's not even bluff charging, he's just coming at you and not stopping. So that's important that you stay away from bears and stuff like that are like that. And he's apparently gotten into folks' packs and stuff up there, and it hadn't been reported yet. So for those of you that didn't know, the ATC does have a bear reporting link, and that is down in the description section here of this video. And if you encounter a bear, particularly one that's too close to the trail or one that's causing problems around shelters or something, you need to go and fill that survey out so that can be checked out, and they can determine what, if anything, needs to be done there, if the shelter needs to be closed, if the bear needs to be rehabilitated, or what needs to happen with that. So, but in any case, as we are winding down the no-bow season, of course, the sobo season is still hot and heavy. I don't have as many sobo, and that's natural, as I do no-bow hikers on the list, but we want to add some more to it. So if you know of some sobo hikers, if you could indicate that who they are, and indicate they are a sobo hiker, and indicate what their contact information is or their social media sites, I'd greatly appreciate that, because we want to include everybody that we possibly can in this, so that folks can go and support them as they go about their quest for their through hike. Folks, that's all I've got this week. As always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out here. All right, Coda, I think we're done. You ready to go home? Come on, boy, let's go. Come on, Coda. Come.